Machine applique can come in many different forms on the Singer Confidence Quilter model 7469Q. We've been playing with decorative stitches, we've been playing with some blanket stitch appliques, so make sure you check out that video here. But if you're looking for more of the traditional zigzag and how to bring the stitches really close together so it looks good, we're going to do that now. So we're talking about picking the zigzag stitch, and then go ahead and give your stitch length and width a little jiggle until the lights turn on. So our stitch width might depend on how proportion or how big the piece is that we're stitching around. So if we had a very small area, we're not going to want a super wide zigzag. We're going to want to narrow it down so it looks in proportion, but not too small, not too big. So that'll be something that we'll test. Then, to bring the stitches really close together, we're going to come down somewhere between 1 and 2 and find what setting looks the best where it closes up the stitch, I'll show you how, and yet still moves forward. Now, since this machine did come with an open toe foot, I've gone ahead and put that on, and I was already playing with some of the settings where I could get it really close together, or it was more open, and then also where I would get it too close where it wouldn't feed. And here's where we were playing with some of the different stitch widths of the different blanket stitches. So as I'm looking at this, part of it is I'll show you is how to guide it so it goes smoothly. Plus, note that I always will have stabilizer underneath the fabric when I stitch. Otherwise, your fabric's going to kind of wrinkle and it's really not going to look good. Now, I love decorative stitches. So a satin stitch and a blanket stitch are just two of all the stitches that can actually be used for machine applique, as we talk about in our Stitching Cosmos online course. So if you want to do more with decorative stitches and more with accessory feet, definitely check out at least our 10 videos that you can watch for free and see what it's all about. So first off, you're going to notice that you'll need to kind of do a little testing to find out how wide the stitch will be. So let's just go ahead and do a few stitches, and then you're going to see my goal is that I'm going to have the majority of the stitch on the applique fabric. So that little stitch on the right side just barely kisses the edge of the yellow square, but lands in the white fabric. Okay, so how wide I want that, that could be changed for different widths, but also next is the machine doesn't know how thick of thread I have on the machine. So if I wanted a little bit more closer together, I can shorten that up so it looks more compact. Now the other thing with this foot is there's a nice channel underneath it to help where this bulk of the stitch that I've created has a place to go. So using the right foot can make all the difference in the world of having the stitch look the best. Now, a lot of people ask me about stitching a corner, so let's just do that since I'm almost here. I'm going to stitch all the way and then sink my needle in to that outside edge and turn to this direction. Now you can see as I change the setting of length how much prettier that area looks and how it's going to stitch. Now I'm going to make it just a little bit longer just because now I have a little extra fabric that I'm getting over here, and then I'll bring it back down so it has that nice same fill. I'm just making sure that I'm not getting hung up at that corner and then create like a pile up. So this is really fun. If you're looking for a locking stitch at the end of your satin stitch, reach up and touch the reverse button one time while you're stitching and it will lock it for you. Well, maybe not on a satin stitch. That'll work on a decorative stitch, but definitely a way to get it to have a nice finish. So that is how a satin stitch can look. You can do a blanket stitch and you can do other stitches as well as for machine applique. If this video has been helpful for you, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out over 30 different videos that we have done on the Singer Confidence Quilter model 7469Q.